All right.
Hello.
Nice.
Hey. Well, I might
And-
have to get a new beer now.
Yeah. Another epic intro.
I'm still so into it.
Yeah. I feel like when it starts, it's like really exciting and you get really pumped and ready to go, and then like it just goes for 5 minutes. Slowly
Sweet.
building the anticipation. So we have Thor back this week. Hey.
Hooray.
Hey. I was on vacation and it was nice.
Where did you go?
Went to Bali. It's been a while, but
Nice.
Bali is back open. And like returning back to Singapore is like the good old days. You just put your passport in the machine and off you go, as long as the machine says yes. But it did, and so yeah, that's I'm really hoping that it stays this way and just gets better and better, and then we can visit Tyler in Japan and visit you guys in Australia. Yeah, APAC is bopping. Oh,
Yeah.
Wembo. Thank you,
Oh,
Wembo.
Wembo.
Whiny Wembo.
Good stuff. How is Japan today?
Yeah, Japan's pretty lovely weather, and we actually have an update in terms of accepting tourists. I think Japan's gonna start opening up the tourism in June, is what I heard this morning. So hopefully that stays that way, and yeah, you guys can all come visit me in
Yeah,
Japan.
watch out, Tyler.
Yeah, absolutely. Although you're
Yeah.
coming out of snow season, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess. So June, you wouldn't be able to ski or snowboard, but yeah,
Gonna have to wait till next year.
yeah,
we'll do a trip.
yeah.
All right, awesome. We have.
How's Aussie land?
How is Aussie land? Aussie land is going well. It's pretty rainy and drizzly today. It's
Yeah,
definitely
a little cold.
yeah, it's definitely reminding us that we're going into winter. It is freezing today. It was the car had like frost and stuff on it this morning.
Really,
Okay.
that cold?
Maybe let's wait for Christmas then.
Yeah, it's
we have
definitely not
lots
as cold where I am.
Yeah, that's
A
true.
whole
I'm up in the
40 minutes
mountains
away.
where
Yeah.
the temperature just it stays cold and wet, which is sometimes lovely and sometimes you get a little bit over it. We have lots of people joining us in the chat. We have people from Supabase joining us in the chat.
Nice.
Very, very cool. And
We're
what are we
doing
going
a
to be
bit
doing?
of a. Oh yeah, actually, maybe since I missed last week, I was tuning in for a little bit of it from the pool in Bali, but yeah, if you can maybe give me a little rundown of what you guys
Recap.
were up to. Yeah.
Absolutely. So maybe I'll share my screen. No, not that. Hang on. Definitely should have, organized this earlier. I had 5 minutes of music to get this sorted, but that's fine. So if I start our development server over here. So we have this Happy Chat app that we've been building. And I will run development server, come on over to our browser and go to localhost 3000. And there is Happy Chat. Look at that. That's how far we got. It's beautiful. How do I bring up that? There we go. No. All right.
Didn't we build the login page?
Yeah,
We
we
did.
built the sign up page on the login page. just for style points.
Yeah. So we probably, that's
We'll
something
move that today. That's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, did you use the auth helpers at all, or?
We did. We initially
And then we
were
didn't.
all we were totally keen to go that route, and we did implement it with that, and then realized that we needed this username, and that just breaks the entire thing because we had a bit of extra data that we needed to pipe through. So we did build it with the auth provider from Supabase UI, and then rebuilt it with just doing it manually.
Gotcha.
I'm very glad that we have Alaister here. He's been teaching us all kinds of ridiculous tricks and bits and pieces.
Random SQL things.
Actually, is this in a repo or somewhere? Maybe we should share the link.
That would be a good professional thing to do that I'll do after this stream is push it up to GitHub. That's a great idea.
Nice.
And we have
this is good. Johnny's the man, the UI man.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Johnny and I had a long discussion after the that stream. So Johnny was sharing the next version, which is we'll be having soon. And I was like, can it do this? Can it do that? And of course, Johnny being very helpful is working it out. But yeah, the next version should be a lot more flexible, which is going to be great.
And I think also like localization and stuff is being worked on. So I think this will be nice.
Stay tuned for Dashboard V2. UI, auth UI, Supabase UI V2.
Cheers! Yes, it's happy hour here. That's why it's the APAC happy hour. I think, John, what have you got today?
I'm drinking a double West Coast IPA, which is got some very cool can design. Look at that, very trippy. It's called the Road Tripper, which is very nice.
Ooh, I would love an Australia road trip.
Yeah, when it's warmer.
Yeah, let's do APAC roadshow for Australia roadshow sometime.
Yeah, we'll do this live all together.
Well, speaking of, John, are we next week? You never know.
Yeah,
we might be doing a long road trip all the way up to the city, which isn't far.
It's pretty far for me.
No, it's far for you. But compared to
you having a special guest?
Yes,
I think it's the furthest I've been in like 2-3 years. Actually, I don't think I've been to the city again since the event.
Yeah,
But we'll be having an extra special guest next week. I think Koppel will be joining us. Our CEO and co-founder of Supabase will be joining us to build some cool stuff.
We haven't told him that, so hopefully he doesn't have any meetings on, but I'm sure we'll force him on briefly.
No meetings Friday. I love that we have like people coming in, so we get someone here from Perth. I really want to visit Perth.
They just opened back up. They were like they were like Japan, completely closed off from the rest of Australia, but they recently opened up here as well. So lots of people going over to Perth.
Innes, is that how you say the name? All right, good.
Yeah,
good.
He joined us last
when I
week
come
as
to
well.
Perth, I'll let you know. We can do a little Supabase get together. All right. Yeah. Sorry for the interlude.
That's fine. We have Happy Chat, which is going to be our real-time chat application. So to give everyone a bit of a recap, last week we did the first stream of this happy hour recurring segment, and we decided it would be very cool to build a single Supabase backend that could serve multiple platforms or multiple different types of apps. And so so we're building a real-time chat application, and the idea is we're starting off with everyone just being able to join a room, which is a fairly standard example that you get with real-time chat applications. But then we're going to add the ability to create a private room with someone or directly message a person. And so, that'll be a lot of fun. And you'll see Wembo here is very excited that we'll be using real-time. I
wonder why.
He is definitely the primary contributor of real-time here at Supabase. So he'll get to actually that's a very good thing that you're here, because you can steer us in the right direction if we start going off the right path. So one of the cool things that Alaister taught us last week was this CI text username field. So this is the type for username, is a case insensitive text. And so it can, because this is unique, a username. No one can have the same username, even case insensitive. That's right. Is that right, Alaister?
I
no
believe
one
so.
can have capital J John.
Yeah. So when it does the comparison, it basically does a 2 lowercase for you on both of the 2 sides. So it basically means people can have capitals and lowercase together in their username to get it to look however they want it to, but we don't need to do any extra work to make sure that it stays unique, which is Postgres magic, and we love it.
Very cool.
These are the kind of
Very cool.
snippets we need to like pull out into little tweets.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
someone's watching the stream and you want to be retweeted by Supabase, just do little
a good
tweets like
shout.
that as we
Yeah.
as we stream along and tag Supabase.
Pretty much my plan is like we just have Alaister on this stream, and then that basically feeds into all of the content that I create for the next year or 2 years.
I'm feeling a bit of weight on my shoulders there, John. Just got...
So if it all goes horribly wrong, like
yeah, blame it all on me.
Exactly.
Alice, I noticed that you changed your emoji this time to a water
I know.
balloon from a light bulb.
Yeah, I was the ideas man last week, but that role was it was too stressful. So now we're over to the watermelon, a bit more chill vibes.
Very chill vibes. I like it.
Yeah.
So then we went on to create a Supabase function.
Database function, we should say as well.
A Postgres function. Yeah.
Postgres function even, yeah.
Postgres function to handle creating a new user. So basically this just inserts into our public profiles table the values for our new user. But the cool thing here is that we can do some special magic of which neither Tyler or myself knew about in the Supabase JS library, that it actually allows you to do this in a really, really nice, clean way. So yeah, and then this has a trigger set up on it to call that function anytime a new user is inserted into the users table, into the auth.users table. So that's going to go and hold on, if I zoom out a bit. There we go. Anytime we insert into that table, it's going to call that function.
And the username is coming from the OAuth provider, or?
So this is the cool little bit of magic. If we come here, when we're calling,
you just pass it as metadata. Nice.
Yeah. When you call sign up, you can pass an extra data parameter, which automatically gets inserted into the app metadata. So if we come over here, if we go to tables and we have a look at the auth schema. So anytime a new user signs into a Supabase application, this is the table, the magic table that's sort of managed by Supabase, where that user is inserted into with all the information about who they are. So this was me. There's my encrypted password if you'd like to sign in on my behalf. And then somewhere here we have raw user metadata. And so this is any additional data that we want to keep about our users that's specific to them using our application. So in our application, they have a username that they can set. And so, we can add this to the raw user metadata, and then that automatically comes in from this object here, which is very cool.
Nice.
It's magic. So while we're here, maybe we'll quickly just fix this register/login thing.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. So if I duplicate this file and call it register, and then I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Cool. So what would we need to change?
I think we need to change in the login file, actually. The register is pretty good.
You are correct. Cool. And so what would we want the user to sign in with their email or
their email? Yeah. So we're just using Supabase's regular email password authentication. And then the other thing we'll need to change here is the sign up method to the sign in and the text. You're quite right.
We'll say sign in, and then we would bring in just the email and password, and then we wouldn't care about that. And then we would say, instead of sign up, we could say sign in. And then we don't want to pass this extra object. And doesn't like something.
You got an extra and on the end there. Perfect.
There we go.
Nice.
Pretty simple. Nice.
I think that's all we would need for this. And so now if we come back to our application, and we don't actually have a log out, but we could simulate logging out by deleting our token.
Well, that's cookies. We need to do local storage, I think. With
Local
local
storage.
only at the moment. Oh, you've already cleared it, it looks like.
Okay.
So you're not logged in, not a problem.
All right. So now if I log in with Jon at supabase.com and
What's the password that we use?
I don't remember what my password was from
Well,
last week.
maybe we can use this as an opportunity to show the sign up flow again. So you could just go and delete your user and then do it all over again, or sign up Thor.
So Thor, you're getting signed up.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, but then you need to set a password.
It's all right. You can impersonate Thor.
I generally just use just testing 1 2 3. That's my testing password. So if you want to
Very
log
strong.
into some of my Supabase testing accounts, you can use that.
Hopefully not the Supabase prod accounts.
Don't think so.
You will have received an email. So if you go and click, this isn't going to work because I need access to your email because it's gonna set a token.
No, but then you can
Isn't it
just log in after Thor
Supabase.io though?
confirmed.
Thor at Supabase.io.
I think both.
I think
work.
Both of
should
them
work.
works. Okay.
Please
I
don't
did
send
not
me
know that.
emails. I can send you the link.
Alaister did point out that I could just sign in. Once you click the link, I can just go to the sign in page and then we can test all of the functionality.
Okay, let me confirm my email then. Oh, but localhost is
Doesn't
it
matter.
should
It's
be-
been confirmed.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's been confirmed indeed, because it jumps through the go-through server.
Yep. Magic.
All right. So you've clicked.
I clicked, yes.
So now if
Should be
we
confirmed.
sign in.
Well, we
this won't
haven't
actually be-
set any feedback, but yeah, we should be signed in now.
No, wouldn't our users know to go and take login out of the URL and just that's how you navigate around our app by knowing the specific URLs? How about we fix that up while we're here? So, is there a way to redirect from this sign in?
Only for OAuth flows, I believe. So unless they've changed that, but in this case, I'd probably just reach for a Next.js router.push right after, because we're doing await anyway. Seems like the simplest way of doing it to me.
Sweet. So yeah, so we will import, I think we can just import use router from next/router maybe. And then do like a const router equals use router.
I think you need to move that one line up.
There we go. All right.
Nice.
So now we have a router. So then after we've signed in, so maybe we should do this properly and say,
Yeah, I'm liking it.
The TypeScript guy likes it. What a surprise. So if we have an error, do we want to display this on the page?
Let's just do an alert for now.
Yeah, I love an alert.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Just use them web APIs.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've written an alert.
And you probably want to return after that as well, just so we don't hit our redirect.
And so then we want to redirect. So we'll say router push, and we just want to push them to the root of our application. And so now if we go back to our login.
You're going to try a dodgy password?
Oh, good.
See what it
good call.
says.
Dodgy password, and then sign in. Valid login credentials. Very
Nice.
well-styled, beautiful, on-theme error message from our application.
Hey, it gets the job done. Don't
Yeah,
knock
it gets the job done.
It does. All right, just testing 1, 2, 3, and we're
Nice.
back at the landing page.
Beautiful.
Awesome. So we should probably start actually writing some messages and things, building out our messages schema.
That's what I was thinking. So I was thinking we dive straight into the interesting real-time bit and we'll add on rooms afterwards. But for now, we'll just have like one giant room, one big chat where, so let's do it.
All right. So
Love it.
I guess we want to create a new table.
I'd say so.
Are we going to need to do anything fancy raw SQL-y here, or can we?
Let me look at my definitely extensive pre-prepared SQL. No, I think we're good. Which you can also reference it as well if you want to see what I'm thinking in the Slack channel. It's a message from last week.
Oh.
But let's just freehand it because, like Ali says in the chat, we got this.
We got this. Look at that.
Thank you.
So much belief. I like it. All right. So is this going to be our messages or is this going to be our channels?
Messages, I'm calling it.
All right. And Thor really likes when I fill in my descriptions. So I'm going to say a table to store messages.
Such a helpful description.
Do we want to enable row level security for this one?
I would love to, because this is a production app for production people, and we're going through how you probably build a Supabase app properly.
Yeah.
And RLS is great, so let's do it.
You can tell it's the production version from the alert error messages.
Yeah.
It should actually be. It should always be on. I feel like by default.
Yeah,
by
default.
But
it says
if you
recommended
don't know
next
about
to
it, it is a bit.
Yeah, I think it's I think that's probably in the works at some point, right? Surely. All right. So what other columns do we need? We need probably the actual content of our message.
Yeah.
I'm assuming is going to be a text field. We probably won't tick is unique because we probably want people to be able to send the same messages.
We'll also uncheck is nullable, I reckon.
Yes, good call. We definitely don't want this to be nullable. An empty message does not make sense and wastes all sorts of resources.
We could also do that the same for the created at date, because we always want a created at date. And then also I'm a fan of using UUIDs for the ID type instead of the integers, especially for this use case of messages. I think it makes a lot more sense to not see a random number instead of just a randand string, so you don't know what number message you're sending. You don't know how many messages has been sent in the system. And then what's nice about this UI, John, is if you click those little 3 dots or 3 lines next to the default value, there's a default UUID generate v4 function. So that will fill it in for us. So it's basically as easy as using a normal 1, 2, 3, 4 ID, but you get the benefits of the UUID.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we'd like to go along with our message? Do we want to set up like a sender now, or is that something we should add later?
No, let's do it. Why not? We'll,
right.
We could, sender, profile ID, sender ID, whatever you want to call it.
Since it is actually linking to a particular table, let's call it profile_ID. Do you remember what kind of integer it is?
It's a UUID, which isn't it?
Yeah. Perfect.
We'll just use UUIDs for everything because it's great.
So this one is going to link. Am I missing a component? Yep.
I think we can set up
that's one.
Yeah. Nice.
So we want this to link. Do we want this to link to our auth.users table
profiles,
or our
I'd say.
Table? All right.
It'll make joining, because we probably want to join on the username not here, but when we do the actual query, to put that next to the message whenever we display it. So yeah, that is the way to go, I reckon.
Good call. Awesome. So that's just going to be the person who sent the message.
And I think we could use another smart default here for this one, and just use the good old auth.uid function to fill it in for us.
Auth.ui?
Yeah,
do this
with the parentheses. Yep.
Damn.
Well, we'll find out. I think this works.
That's magic.
And maybe make it not null as well, because we always want a sender ID.
That's a very good idea. Yeah. I'm glad we gave you a job just when you told us how to like dig into a JSON object, because
don't give me the credit yet. This might be too ambitious, but I think this works.
That's true. I forgot to mention the other part where, like, if you lead us down the wrong path, you get fired.
Yeah,
you lose the job that you got. It's very tumultuous coming on a stream, helping us out in any way.
High stakes.
Yeah.
High risk, high reward.
All right. So we'll save that. That's going to create our new table. It's going to set up that foreign key relationship between this table and our profiles table. Cool. And so then we should be able to send messages and display messages in our application.
Well, there's one more intermediate step there. I'm sure you know what it is.
Yeah, of course. But I'll let you say it.
RLS. We enabled
on
RLS
three.
by
On
default.
three. Say it together.
yeah. There's just a little bit of a delay here, but we'll go on 3. That is a very good point, and one that catches me out pretty much every time I ever do anything. When I go to insert a new row in or select rows from that table and get back an empty array. And so my association is always like the association is there in my mind now that when I get back an empty array and I was expecting to not get back an empty array, it's a policy I forgot to write.
Yeah, it's a good mental model, definitely.
Yeah. So it is not in here. It's under authentication policies. And then we can set up a new policy for our messages. And we don't have any for our profiles yet. Do we need that? I don't think we do.
I think we will for select, but it's the simplest of policies being that anyone can select all the profiles.
Yeah, nice. All right, well, let's create a new... Oh, this is new. I haven't seen this.
I wonder if Johnny's still here.
Let's get created quickly. So we have a few different templates that you can use for when you want to do different types of policies. What is our policy actually going to be enforcing here?
Well, yeah, I think because we want to send messages to anyone in this chat app and receive messages from anyone, we just want to be able to see all the messages. So luckily for us, the first one in the list is exactly what we want.
Nice. So maybe we could say enable reading of messages for all users.
And
So
I
this
guess
is gonna
when we later on add the feature of like private rooms and stuff, we'll come back here and make some edits to this rule, right?
You're exactly right, Tyler.
Nice.
Awesome. And so, yeah, so we're specifically saying this is a select policy. So this is enabling one of those actions. So we talked about in the last video that when you enable RLS or row level security, that it just basically denies all actions by default. So basically turns off select, update, insert, delete. And then you need to write a policy to enable any of those actions. And so it locks everything down. And then you just kind of grant permissions to the things that that your application needs to be able to do. So in this case, we're gonna have a select, and here we can write a condition. So like we could say, like, what could we say? Profiles, or like
profile
name.
ID equals, or username. Yeah, any of these, they're all good examples.
Like if I wanted to be the only one that could select things from this table, we could say if username is equal to Jon, then they're able to see it, which wouldn't work because we're on our messages, and so this would need to be, this is a different table that I'm thinking of. This is profiles. But yes, so if we say basically whatever we write here either evaluates to true or false. So it needs to be an expression that evaluates to true or false. And so if we just do true, then it's just saying enable this action. And if we were to say false, that would be a complete waste of time because that's what RLS is already doing. It's already enforcing that nothing has access to select, insert, update, or delete. So we're going to say true. I'm going to save this policy. And yeah, you can see here that this is telling us the actual SQL that's being generated and then run against our database for us. So if you are interested in learning how to write your own policies, you can use the UI to kind of to create a policy and then look at it and learn what you would need to modify if you wanted to write the raw SQL yourself. Cool. So now we should be able to select all of our messages.
Can I also, before we jump over there, can I have exactly the same policy, please, for profiles?
You sure can.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So we have a select, enable read access for users. So this is a select policy again, and again we're just saying true. So anyone can select any profile.
So, and also we should probably do a one for the inserting of messages as well, so we can actually create some new ones.
That's a good call. Well, how about we actually we could just.
Well, no, we've got a profile ID column, so it's a little more interesting, the insert one.
Let's do it. Let's write it from scratch. So we want users to insert messages. Insert users can insert their own messages.
Yep, I'm into it.
Love it.
Cool. So we're inserting, and here we want to say that the profile ID column is equal to our current auth.uid. So this is the current user who's signed in.
Profile underscore ID, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it underscore?
Auth,
I mean,
The other way around.
Auth.uid.
Let profile. Yeah. Auth.uid is good. Profile underscore ID.
I get it. I get what you're saying because that's the column. Yep. So this is the name of our column. So we're checking on the current message that we're trying to insert. So when the user writes a new message, they press enter or they press send. That's going to send a request via Supabase.js to our Supabase backend. And it's going to say this user wants to insert this new message into that table. And so if the profile ID of that of the new row that's being inserted into the messages table matches our currently signed in user, then we're granting permission. We're saying that is all good. So if I tried to insert a message on behalf of Thor, like I just signed up for an account on behalf of Thor, if I were to try and impersonate Thor and I was signed in as myself, but I was trying to send a message as Thor, that obviously wouldn't get written to our database because it violates this policy, or this would return false. And so therefore it would be the same as not having written this policy. So it would just get denied. Cool. And yeah, as I was saying before, this is the SQL that gets generated. So we're just creating a policy. That's the name that we gave it. It's on our public.messages table. And then we're writing it for insert. So that's the action we want to enable. And then the check that we want to do is, does the profile ID equal the currently signed in user's ID? And this is a magic little function that we get from Supabase. And so if you're using just raw Postgres, this function wouldn't exist. This is something that we give you in Supabase because we kind of do all of the authentication and everything for you. We already know who the signed in user is. And so we can pipe that all the way through to the database. And so then in our policies, we can inspect who that is and make sure they're allowed to perform those actions. So let's save that policy.
Love it.
Cool.
Beautiful.
What do we want to do next?
Well, we should be good to go. Send some messages.
All right, let's do it. Oh yeah, and since we've already got auth set up, we could all start sending messages
To each other.
To each other. and so could anyone. Well, wait, no, right, localhost. If you guys if everyone in the chat just goes to localhost over port 3000 and start sending some messages, they'll start popping up on the screen. I am joking. This is running locally on my computer. So once we push this up to something like Vercel or Netlify, something like that, then we would be able to all jump in and write messages. So we might save that for the big mic drop moment at the end of this stream. But for now, you'll just have to
Watch you.
You could also
Watch John send
ngrok
type
it.
messages
yourself.
to himself.
Sorry?
You could ngrok it.
Could ngrok it. Let's build
the
out the UI
portal
first.
for
So we
everyone
have-
to.
That's true. But yeah, let's build out the UI so we have something to actually see and interact with. So we have this input, but I don't think we built out anything that it does. So yeah, we've just got our input field here. And so if we write something in there and press enter, it's not being submitted anywhere because it's not even in a form. Isn't even well-written HTML. So when we try to submit this form, we could call a function called handle submit, and that we can declare above submit, and that is going to.
I'd steal all the stuff from one of the register pages or something. It's
An
exactly
excellent
what we
idea.
want.
Oh,
So
All
you
the
do
types. Look at that.
form data. Yes, love it.
Yeah.
And doing this.
Steal the TypeScript type as well off the
Let's just take the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real web development. Copy
Yeah.
paste.
When TypeScript gets in the way, you just copy and paste a whole bunch of stuff from everywhere else.
I feel like the VS Code should do that automatically for you. Like when you do like on submit, and then it just creates the function for you.
Copilot might know, but I don't
Yeah.
think John's
Copilot
running
might, yeah.
Copilot.
I'm not, or I think I am, but I think I have it ignored. Whoa.
Mm.
Whoa. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't get a Copilot. He just gets like 3 backseat coders.
Which would you prefer?
Oh. Hmm.
We are the Copilot that can talk back.
That's right. Well, this one, we don't care about email, username, and password. We probably only care about what's coming in from our input, which doesn't even have anything. And if we come back over
Name.
here, we actually used the uppercase input from Supabase, the Supabase UI library.
Nice.
So we can use those again here instead of this standard input. We can have a smart input, which we can import from Supabase/UI, and I think it's at Supabase UI.
Does Supabase UI already have the form? I think Johnny was working on this like smart form, which does like validation and everything.
Oh.
But I'm not sure if it's in there yet.
Doesn't
Yeah,
look like
Next
it.
version. Sneak peek coming up.
Yeah, very exciting. Cool. And so now if we have a look at our page,
I think
we
you
now
left
have
it as
the
type
incorrect.
email. Yeah.
Incorrect label. So this could be, well, I guess we don't actually want to display label for this one, do we?
Type, isn't it? Just text?
Yes. Well caught. So we can have a name that is message, but we probably don't want to display that above, right? Because I'm assuming we would be building something similar to like a Discord or a message,
Yeah.
iMessage type thing. So I guess if we just do this.
It's lovely.
So we could add some class names here just to see what our form's doing. So it's just going around this input. Maybe we could make width full. And then,
I need some
Maybe-
padding.
Some padding, some beautiful padding.
Some max width, some who knows.
And
Oh, max width on the form. Oh yeah, on the form probably will work. That's actually. I was going to just whack it on the whole container because then when we're sending messages, we can use that same width. But both work.
I'm imagining that this whole container would kind of grow to the full height of this page,
Full
right?
height.
And then we would have messages down the bottom, so similar to like a Discord UI or something like that. So you can type your message in down the bottom, and then there's like a list of all of the previous messages that have been sent.
Yep.
Pull up some kind of visual for this. Yeah, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
So where the container takes up the full height, and then we have a little send box down here, and then different people that have sent different messages left and
If
right.
we could make it look that nice, I'll be very proud.
Well,
I actually like-
how's your tailwind?
You know, all right. we'll see
Once
how
we have
go.
it open source, we can get someone to make it look like WhatsApp web, and then we can have Tyler build the WhatsApp Flutter.
Yeah, I like it. That sounds
Yeah,
very
what's
nice.
the Flutter
How we typically-
styling story like, Tyler?
It's pretty similar. It's pretty similar to Flexbox. So it's pretty much using Flexbox everywhere. You do the, align stuff, justify center, justify right.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really similar to Flexbox. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, for those of you who are in the stream and don't know, after we build the web app, we're going to build, or Tyler is, because I don't know how well Jon, Thor, and myself will go building a Flutter app, but Tyler's going to teach us all some Flutter, and we're going to build the
I'm
same
really
app
excited
again.
for that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna drive, so it's gonna get very, very frustrating for Tyler, I imagine.
We'll see. It'll be fun. Ali, I see Ali has a question. Can I click into this?
Oh.
No. I think.
So, do you want to bring that up?
Oh, that is an interesting profile picture.
That's a good question. Does Supabase UI handle errors? I feel like there may be.
So I think the question is like, what he means with errors. Maybe it's like validation errors for form. So I think that's exactly what that form component. So it's built. I think it's based on Formic. If you know Formic, it's a really nice library. And then you can have, I think, some like validation things, and then basically the form component will kind of handle your validation. So maybe if that's the errors you mean. Otherwise, there could be errors if you submit the form. So for example, like if you're not allowed to paste in a message or something, like I don't think Supabase UI kind of handles like error responses from the API, for example. It doesn't do that. So that's something you have to do. Yeah.
Cool.
Jon, we have to keep this color scheme for the whole app now. I'm so into it.
Maybe instead of using width full for everything, we can just use item stretch for the container, and that'll do the magic. Maybe.
That is a very good call. So up on main, we can do
Yeah.
item stretch.
And then we can get rid of all the width full.
Assuming I still need it on this first
Yeah,
one.
you probably
Child.
need it on
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Looks the
Very
same.
beautiful.
Imagine that it's done its job, which is
What's the
excellent.
little bit of margin on top and bottom?
Max and justify self, and these are not classes, so I'm just going to remove these.
Justify self.
It would be
and
so
margin.
good if we could, like, after the stream, just hand over the stream to like some CSS wizard, and then they just put on some bobbing music and basically just make it look amazing.
Well, maybe we
that'd
should
be-
keep this color
that'd be
scheme
nice.
then. And
We have to.
someone
I'm
else
into it
can-
now.
Yes. Someone else could. I mean, it is happy chat, right? These
It's
are
very
happy
happy.
hours.
It looks like a 3-year-old made it.
And so
That's
the
usually
banners
what I
on the
go for
sides
with
are
my-
for advertisement.
Ah,
It's lovely. We are getting some
Oh, there's
Yeah.
PY2. I've just seen it
PY2.
there on that top level div.
oh,
Look, now it's
Oh,
made by
great.
like maybe like a year 4
Beautiful.
student.
Oh, John, that wasn't an insult. That was a compliment.
I did not like it. I did not like it at all. These blue sides are getting to me as well. But I feel like we can actually maybe yeah, we'll leave it. This is
Yeah.
beautiful. We have some nice padding on this. So this actually it actually like I mean it looks silly, but it looks okay.
Just put some advertisement on the sides. You can do like on the left you do your egghead course, on the right you do your level up tuts.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've created beautiful ad revenue for that's not working. But yeah, that's great. Maybe we'll shrink the whole app so it's just like a really thin column, and then we'll have like a significant amount of ad space to to bring in revenue, which means we can make this app free for all of our users, which is good.
Oh yeah,
Flashing, yeah.
that's a really good.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Marquees.
Actually,
Maybe if this maybe
marquee.
Happy Chat, like
Make
the title
Happy
could be a
Chat
marquee, that just goes.
Yeah.
Maybe we
need
rename
that.
it to Nostalgia Chat or something.
So the marquee tag still
I've
work?
never
I'm
used it
getting
in my
red.
life. Oh,
How do you
that's
spell
disappointing.
marquee?
Oh, good morning from South Africa. Nice.
Ah.
Oh yeah,
Ah,
Europe.
nice,
Europe
sweet.
is waking up, right? Good on ya. Grab a beer and join us.
Breakfast beers. Oh, that's funny. When you type in marquee, it actually makes the result
Oh,
section
Google.
here a marquee. That's beautiful.
Oh,
For anyone that doesn't know what we're going for, this is what we're trying to achieve. Everywhere deprecated. Do not use marquee.
Just,
but look,
JSX should allow it though, even though there's a type error. Just if you spell it that same way.
I just
it
want to
should-
see whether this is actually. Oh, it's
No,
not
they're
actually.
faking it.
Ah,
Probably because
wow.
they'd lower their own results in the in Google search results.
Oh, there you go. Help Ali again with a helpful Tailwind class. We can cheat as well.
oh, that's sweet.
Ah,
This one.
animate ping.
Well, let's find out. Animate ping. Maybe Tailwind built in.
Is it enabled by default though?
Now we're doubling
Yes.
up. We're going marquee and
Uh-oh. That doesn't seem right.
there's a few default animations. Oh, that's even worse.
Ooh.
Happy chat.
Nice.
Happy chat. Be happy. It's beautiful.
Oh man.
What are the other animations?
There's all right, I'm having a look now. There's spin, there's ping,
Oh,
there's pulse,
spin.
there's bounce. Oh my word.
All right.
This reminds me of like my first HTML summer
Yeah.
camp.
Just animated GIFs everywhere. Why is this centered? What's happened?
Why
here?
not?
Flex 1 text. Who knows? Actually, that's good.
Oh, this is my text center on main. It's inheriting that. Right. We do not need text center anymore. That was our last beautiful UI. This is our new beautiful UI.
It actually
maybe-
looks significantly better with it left. Much more mature.
Whoops.
Oh, I quite like that.
It was actually kind of nice, wasn't it? Felt very yeah, no, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. We've lost our there we go. Actually, maybe to stop jumping around so much, maybe I can do this. Oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. All right, we'll go back to
we
the
can go
X20,
mobile first.
and then this is our mobile first design. I like it. All right. Cool. And so now, oh, actually, that's what I was doing. Adding some padding to our heading. Maybe like PX4, PY2. Beautiful. All right, should we display some messages?
Well, yeah, let's see if our
Yeah.
handler works well, our submit handler, because at the moment we're still trying to sign up.
I don't think it's going to work very well right now. We got distracted. All right. So what we want, is that still readable?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we have our handle submit. We're going to prevent default initially so it doesn't refresh our page. And then we want to grab out our message. And then let's make sure we actually set that here, which we did. And then we are turning that into an object. And so here we just want to check that our message is actually a string.
Can we add on another cheeky check to make sure there's actually some content in the string? So like message.trim dot length is not equal to 0 or something like that.
An excellent idea. So if we actually have a message and its type is string, then we want to make a call to Supabase, but not this call. So we want to say Supabase.from. And so this is where we can tell it which table we would like to insert into. So the language is kind of a little bit clunky to say like Supabase.from messages insert. But yeah, we want to basically insert a new message into the messages table. So from the messages table, we want to insert our content field should be set to message. And we might get back our error and our data and just console log those out here. So we can see if things are actually working. Now if we do hello and open up our console, beautiful. Wow, just worked. Magic.
Oh, sweet.
No way, first time.
So that does prove that your magic little snippet in the default value did actually work.
That
It's
UID.
awesome. Yeah.
That is so cool because I always like pass it manually. So yeah, sorry for people who don't work at Supabase and don't stare at this constantly every day.
What are you saying, John?
This insert is inserting a new row into our messages table, and so this is the column for content. But if you remember, we also had a profile underscore ID field, which was a not null field. So we need to provide the user's ID. And this had a foreign key relationship to our profiles table. And so usually what you would need to do is say, all right, this profile ID is set to our user. And so then we need to say, all right, let's grab the user from like supabase.auth.user, I think. And then if we got a user, we can select their ID. And so, yeah, this is a much uglier way of doing this where, and it kind of makes it so that our front end is making that decision, which is not necessary because we already know the user who's signed in, who's trying to make that request. And so we don't need to provide this at all. We're just providing the content of our message. And then if I drag this back out and go to our table editor for messages, and I can actually just have a look at it by saying edit table, which doesn't look great at this resolution. Sorry, Johnny. And you can see we've got this profile ID here, and this magic function here is that other function that we used in our
RLS
policy. In our policy where we said we wanted to call auth.uid. And so this is a special function that we get from Supabase. And it will see who our currently signed in user is. And so we can just call that function directly. So as the row is being inserted into the table, it's going to run that function to see who is the user who's trying to actually do this. And then it's just magically going to insert their profile ID here, which we can see if we have a look here. We have a profile ID. And then if we click this little button to see what that links to our signed in user of Thor, because I'm currently signed in as Thor. So yeah, that's very cool. That's a cool little trick. Another one that we should definitely spin out of this into, lots of tweets and courses and blogs and all sorts of things. And I will claim the knowledge and not credit you at all. It would be great.
It's all right. It's part of my job, right?
Yeah. So cool. I'm still just impressed that worked. I'm blown away. It's awesome. So this is now, so we have, if we go to our messages, we can see that the content is there, that hello. So we now have a message in the in our Supabase database. And so now we should display it on the screen, I guess.
Yep. I'm so into it.
So how do we want to do this? Do we, because we're using Next.js, we could use get server-side props, but that's going to send us down a whole rabbit hole because that's server-side and we haven't set a cookie for our currently signed-in user. Could use our new auth helpers, but I think maybe the API for those is just about to change, so it might not be a good time to jump into that.
Yeah,
so we
you'll
might just
scare
build
Thor.
this. Sorry?
No, actually, it might be good one because then we could do a stream of migrating it once the new ones are released.
That's true. Should we do it?
I'm leaning towards doing it entirely front end because we got the login all set up and everything, and otherwise we'll be here for a while.
That's true.
So
All right.
what are we actually trying to do now?
Just store
Load
some
the
React
chat.
state, I reckon, and then good old use effect. Can't go wrong.
Cool. All right. So let's import.
Would it make sense to maybe create a separate component for this? I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
could be nice.
All right, let's do it.
Separating the logic, auth logic with all the loading logic.
That is a great idea. So let's create a new folder called components. And this is going to be our messages component. TSX. And we're going to, look, what did we do for our other ones? So this is going to be our messages component. And so we can import our use effect from React. And then in here, we can say, we can call use effect, which takes a function. And then we tell it when we would like to run that. And so if we give it an empty array, it's just going to run once on mount. And so here we can say, well, I guess we want to select that stuff from Supabase. So if I say Supabase, use another Alaister trick from last week, and select from Supabase from the messages table, we want to select all columns now, just to make sure that it's working, and then we can come back and filter that down to just the data that we need. But we're going to get back some data, and we await this. And so now, because this is an async function, we can't do this because you're meant to only ever return a function, a cleanup function from use effect, not a promise, which automatically gets returned anytime you put the word async in front of a function. So we're going to create a new function called getData, which is an async function that exists within use effect. Move that into there, and then we'll just call getData. Now we should be able to console log out data that we get back. And we probably also need to return something from here. So React is happy. And so we'll say messages is what's coming back from here. So now we can import that in our index component. So where are these going to be displayed? Probably under our title. So that's our title. So then if there is anything here, display in there. So that looks like a good place to display our messages. So here we can say we want our messages component.
messages is ages.
I love that that's the default. Cool. So we see it prints out the text messages, which is what we're displaying, what we're returning from this component. And we have an object that is getting some data, which is an array of a collection of messages. Cool. So
Nice.
this looks like we're getting the data that we were hoping. So now we probably want to iterate over all of those messages. So actually we need to store them somewhere first. So let's bring in use state. And let's say const messages and set messages is equal to use state. And we'll say this to null initially so that we can determine whether we're still selecting those messages or whether we're ready to display them. And then here, oh no, that's actually a bad idea. All right, we're just going to do an empty array. TypeScript will yell at me. I don't want to battle TypeScript. So we want to map over all of our messages. And then for each message, we want to render out a paragraph tag with that message.content and give it a key of our message.id. And that's a lot of boilerplate. And it did not work. Why did it not work?
Set messages.
Good call. So rather than console logging these out, let's actually set messages to be our data.
Way. Such excitement.
So this is saying that we might get back a null. So
Right.
if we were smart enough to know that if we have an error,
I don't think so.
right?
I think it's better just to check for a null, and then we could, have more alerts, seeing as we're just doing this client side, and we love alerts so much.
Oh, you want to go the other option? You want to say
I don't mind.
if there's
Up
no
to you.
data alert,
You need a
You need to-
return as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
happy.
So we need to add in a little. We can just use any types if you like, or we can actually type this properly.
Any types? I love any types.
Well, we can use them, or we can type it properly.
Let's type it.
All right,
This is
let's
our
type it.
production application.
So yeah, either a type or an interface, both work.
What do you prefer?
I prefer types. It's shorter than interface. So type
Right.
message equals some curly braces. And then I know we've got an ID that's a string. I think we had a created at, which was also a string because dates come over the wire in JSON as a string. What else did we have?
We had content, which was a string.
Yep. And a profile ID, right?
A profile ID, which was also a string because it's a UUID.
Yeah. So what I'll do is we can go from the supabase.from, and then if we pass in these ones, greater than and less thans, we can pass in a type. Yeah, could be.
Still complaining,
okay.
isn't it?
Sorry if you can hear the dog in the background.
That's fine. Okay, so now it can be a message array or null.
So that's perfect. Now we need to also do that in the use state part of it. So within the same kind of curly braces.
Wouldn't it be a array of message?
Tyler is just in this case. So
I mean,
yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Or can you do like that?
Yeah.
That's
I
the
think
other
you
one,
can
right?
do it like that.
That feels cleaner. Is there any preference?
Beautiful.
I like that
this
one.
one. Yeah.
I think that's where everyone's going at the moment anyway in TypeScript land.
Mm.
And look at that, we're properly typed. Magical.
It wasn't even that
Awesome.
hard. I just need to, have someone pair programming with me, telling me how to write every type, and then it's just like having JavaScript, but I have safe types.
Magic.
There you go.
It's good stuff.
All right, where do we
Okay.
want to go next?
Should we implement real-time and see, that we can get real-time messages displayed?
I like it.
Sounds
That sounds good.
exciting.
So if we were to say hi here, we press enter, nothing happens. So we might quickly actually just fix that up. And why are we red? Cannot you be used as a JSX command?
Oh, so you maybe wrap the what you return instead of returning an array, just return a UL with some LIs in it. Because TypeScript, I think you can get this to work somehow, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. But it should be it probably should be a UL anyway, so not a problem.
Yep. And then make these P's and LI and then LI. And that should be all good because now we're at least returning a UL.
Sweet.
Cool. What was I just saying? Oh yeah. So if I actually enter in a valid thing, so if we are going off to Supabase to write this there, we probably want to clear this input. So can we, since we already have the event, can we say current target dot reset? Is that what it is?
Yeah. The only thing is you might have to pull out current target into a variable underneath prevent default, only because React's synthetic event system sometimes like throws away the element, so you've got to store it in a variable. I'm not sure why, but it will yell at you sometimes. But you can use it in both places then.
Like it. So we can say we have a target, which is equal to our e.current target. And then here we can just use target. And then here we can just use target. And this is now making me think this probably shouldn't be called target because that doesn't make any sense when it's actually the form. Have any conflicts? No. Cool. Nice. You know what? If there were going to be conflicts, TypeScript would tell me. I probably don't need to visually scan the page to make sure that I read every line of code to make sure that none of them contradict each other because TypeScript has my back. And now that I'm thinking about it, JavaScript would tell me anyway because it would say you've already declared this variable. Cool. So we have our form. We're checking, if we actually are going to go off to Supabase and write a new message to the messages table, then we want to reset this. We could do some stuff around, making it graying out and disabling the input while it's sending or whatever, and then and then updating that once it's successfully written to the database. But let's just believe that it's going to go well. So we'll say this is another message, and then when we press enter, it clears that input for us. And so what Tyler was saying is that this doesn't actually show us that new message. If we refresh the page, then we see it pop in there. But we probably want to know anytime a new message is inserted into our database, we probably want to essentially refresh our application. And so one way that you could do this is we actually do get the message back here as data. So if we are console logging out the data. If I open up our console and say hi again, we actually do have data here. And so you might think, oh, well, we could just say, we don't have messages in scope here. But if we're inside the message component, we could say like messages, set messages to be spreading in our current messages, and then add in a new object that spreads in all of our
spreading it in.
0. Whoa, extra spread. And so this would work as the user who is currently signed in. You type in a new message, you click send, and you can update your current state. But if another user sends a message, then your browser doesn't know that ever happened. And so we can't just do this because we have multiple users. And so we want to update our UI anytime any of our users send a message. So this one is not going to work. Now, implementing real-time sounds scary and difficult. Is it scary and difficult to implement real-time with Supabase?
No.
No. Not
That's
at
what I
all.
like.
As long as Wenbo is with you, nothing's scary.
All right. So
Keep-
the first thing we need to remember to do, which I forget to do most times I ever implement real time, is that we need to actually we need to explicitly turn on real time for the table that we want to listen to. So if we come back to our Supabase dashboard and we go to database and then replication, and then we click this little 0 tables bit over here. These are all of our tables that we have access to turn on our real-time replication so that we can subscribe to those events. And so we want to turn this on for messages. So anytime a new message is published, we want to push that out through anything that is subscribed to that. So now that we've ticked that or selected, enabled that radio button, our messages are now being sent out through the Supabase real-time server, which is running in the background. And so now we just need to tell our front end that we want to subscribe to particular messages. So we can do that in a use effect, but we probably want to do that in our messages component because this is where we would actually be updating that data. And so this use effect runs at the start of when our component first mounts. We could put it in here. We could declare another function, but that's probably going to kind of like muddy up what's going on and make it look a little bit convoluted for this one use effect. And so since this is going to be a separate action that we want to perform, we'll create a new, or we'll call use effect again. And then in our use effect, we can say supabase.on, and then we need to tell it what we would like to listen to. How about we quickly look at the
from first? From
Tyler's
messages
on it.
dot on?
That's what I felt like I was missing.
You were on it last week, Tyler. You're on it again this week.
Supabase.from messages. So from this table, we want to subscribe on a particular event. Let's see if I can do it without the documentation. Documentation is there and is very clear and great, but let's see if I can write it out. So I think we get a payload from when this function is called. It gets passed a payload. And this is saying that we want to subscribe to all events. And so I need to tell it when this is going to run. So this is going to be when my component first mounts. I want to set up a subscription on the messages table for any events. And when those events occur, I want to call this function, and Supabase will take care of calling this function with a payload, which will contain the information about that new event that has happened. So
One thing we need to add is .subscribe at the end. After, yeah.
Like that? .subscribe?
Yeah, I think so.
So this actually, starts the subscription, starts listening. And if we want to do this properly, we can say subscription equals this thing. And then in use effect, we can return a function to do cleanup things. And so we could say, actually, I think it might be, all right, we will check the documentation. Because
I've got it here, I can tell you. You're quite right. It is supabase.remove subscription. And then you pass in your subscription.
There we go. So we want to pass in our subscription. But just so people who don't know the magical incantation of our magic tricks feels lost after this stream ends, you can go to the docs. So supabase.com/docs. I need to zoom out a bit. And we can search for subscription or .on. Whoa. We can do this. I'm just trying to shortcut going to references and going to JavaScript and then Realtime and then .on.subscribe. So this is what we've just written out. So this is our supabase.from. This is actually subscribing to any table. So we've explicitly said we only want to subscribe to the messages table, but you can subscribe to all changes on all tables. And then if we scroll down a little bit, there is an unsubscribe somewhere. Remove subscription. Next page.
Nice.
So we can say supabase.remove subscription and pass it in that subscription. So yes, that's where you find the documentation for this. So we're just console logging out the payload so we can see if this is working by saying this is a real-time message. And send that. And we don't get anything. Maybe we'll refresh.
Yeah, I think a refresh might be in order.
We needed a refresh. So use effect ran. So our new use effect ran.
Or not.
But if we refresh, we can see that those are definitely there. So this is running. Is Wembo still here?
I think
He's
Wenbo's
abandoned
probably
us. You
gone
saw
to
the word.
sleep.
Probably not.
The word real time, and he just
Maybe if we
disappeared.
listen just for the insert event in all
so
caps.
I think it needs to be all caps on insert, and then it's just given us all the other ones. So maybe if we just say star again, what's that? All right.
We will go and yell at Wembo after the stream, figure out what we did wrong. But that's
Now we're
working.
getting that
Okay.
insert event. So if we dig into what exists on our payload, we can see that we have an old object, which is just an empty array because it doesn't. I'm sorry, an empty object because it doesn't make sense for us to have an old version of something that's being newly inserted into this table. But if we have a look at the new object, this is the new row that has been inserted into the database. And so basically at this point, we would want to update our messages to contain the new message. So we could say set messages to
wonder if
be
we
a
could
new
do some
array.
TypeScript
Right.
stuff.
Oh, you want to do some TypeScript stuff?
Well, I wonder if we do the from thing again, where we pass in the message. Does it know? Does it work with real time as well?
I'm not
To do
sure.
what? What are we doing?
So where you do .from messages, you know how before when we did .from messages, we passed in that message type. If we do that here as well, does that carry through to the payload?
I guess I could have just looked at this one. Oof.
No, it
Oh,
looks,
no, it
it looks
does.
okay.
Oh,
Supabase
working.
real-time
Yeah.
payload of
Okay.
message.
let's do it.
It's very cool. There's something to this TypeScript thing.
Quite
These
useful.
TypeScript kids are onto something.
Hello.
So we want to set our messages to be a new array, and we want to construct that array from our current messages, and then our we can spread in to. Do we need to do that? Anyway, new object where we're spreading in payload.
No, we don't.
New. All right.
I think.
We don't need this.
Yeah,
We can
because the
say-
top level array is new, so that will be enough for React to detect a refresh.
yeah, cool. Nice. Cool. So now we're running out of space here. So if we open this up and say we might want to refresh. So our magic trick actually works. Does our magic trick work? Something worked.
It's because a stale closure. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is not because at the point when this subscription is set up, this messages object is set to an empty array, which is the first state of this. So what we can do is we can actually pass this a function, which gives us the current value for the for our messages variable, and then we can spread in current.
Beautiful. Drum roll, please.
And we can see if we refresh, does this work? Boom.
Boom. Philip
that.
in the chat as well was
yeah,
onto
thanks
it
for helping
straight
us.
away.
Look at that.
Thanks, Philip.
Philip knows how to react.
It's always good knowing how to react.
So we can probably make this, give this a little bit of padding so that it matches a nice thing here and our beautiful padding on Happy Chat here. I can remove that again, and let's add some padding to our outer. I guess we could just put it on the UL here.
Yeah, I think that's fine. And I was just trying to think why the on star wasn't working, but my only thought is because we didn't set up any RLS rules for the update and delete. So it's literally we've only got a rule for insert. That might be it. That might not be, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's a
Great
very interesting.
Yeah.
So maybe that is something that we should feed back to our friend Wembo, because
we'll go and yell at Wenbo after the stream. Nothing's changed.
Anything that annoys anyone in the chat, you just let us know, and we will personally go and tap them on the shoulder tomorrow.
On Monday. I'll be asleep tomorrow.
On Monday, yes. Cool. Yeah, so that makes sense. So sorry to explain what we were just rambling about. Because we don't have a policy for update, and we said that we wanted to subscribe to all events. So up here, when we say we want to listen to all events, potentially because we don't have a policy for update, when we subscribe to all events, but we didn't update anything.
I know. So this is pure speculation. I'm just trying to think. It's probably something that we did, to be honest.
I'm sure it is. It always is. The computers are always right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So what do we want to do? What do we want to do next?
Yeah,
we've got half an hour left, so we could go in a number of directions. We could deploy it. We could set up some rooms. We could, who knows, make it look even nicer. Although I think that's probably impossible at this point. I think it's reached peak
beauty.
One thing I did want to add is to make sure we get our messages back in the right order, because at the moment they're just coming back in whatever order they feel like. But we should probably order them by created at descending, right?
It is an excellent idea.
Yeah.
Does flex col work, or is it?
Yeah, flex col is exactly what you want.
And then if we do justify end.
That's actually a good idea, John. We could make our messages appear on the right, and then
we could do that. The first thing I was trying to do was just push everything down.
Yeah. Push everything down. You'll probably need to do like a flex 1 on the UL to make it take up the full height first in the first place.
Trusty old. Is it the
only in CSS, not Tailwind land, I think.
Vertigo, not a color.
It might be in CSS, but Tailwind.
I feel like there's. What else? What colors haven't we used? We've used green. We've used pink. We've used red. We've used blue. These are the only colors that I know. Cyan. Look at that. Okay. Excellent.
There's another helpful message in chat. We need to put a flex on there as well if we're going to use flex.
I thought there was something like that. Yeah. So flex adds obviously the display flex, but then flex col changes the direction. Right. And I can see that by hovering over this, that it's telling me exactly what it does.
Trying to work out the username. Derek?
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 I think it's Derek. Oh, I favorited. There we go.
Favorited.
And magenta, that's another great color. Slate color with margin. All right. So we've got now
still
we
a
can
flex
see
1.
this isn't taking up the full box. And so we can say flex1, which is also not taking up the full box.
Well, it's we got to go back into the other file then. Leave the flex1, I reckon, because it will be how we've set it up in the other file. So what have we got? Item
So this
stretch.
is growing, but it doesn't have flex on it, and it doesn't have flex col.
Oh,
now
beauty.
we're growing to the full height.
So now you can do your... I don't think you want them to go to the bottom, right? That's not how chat apps work usually. Usually they start coming from the top, and then that goes to scrolling. Yeah.
It depends on the chat app. I feel like in a typical mobile app situation, they start from the bottom, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It does depend on the chat app. But I feel like we're used to just having a lot of messages in chats. But when the message starts out, I feel like it's I really don't know.
Well, we can
I feel like
see.
it's not that important, but
it's really not that important.
One question that I had was
with Wembo and
started a new chat
Alaister.
with Wembo.
Things are broken. No, I don't want to actually.
Poor Wembo. He'll get out of bed in the middle of the night and.
Is this gonna? All right, good. This didn't want there to be a whole bunch of messages because then it doesn't prove our point. So if I say hello, yeah, so it pops up at the bottom, and then it slowly fills up, and then when it gets to the top, we're gonna make sure that it doesn't grow beyond that point.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
happy
as well.
All right, we can. All right, cool. So now we can take off our cyan. Although I quite like the cyan now.
Well, what was it before? No, the pink was way better. I'm into the pink.
All right. But actually, while we're here, we can do what you were saying, where we can maybe right align the ones that are from us. And so if we have a look at this example again, actually it doesn't do it in here. But if we were to look at like iMessage,
that's
iOS or Facebook Messenger or something like that, messages from us would appear on the right and in some kind of color, like maybe blue. And then ones that are from anyone else would appear on the left. I think I said that right. Cool. So if we... Well, I guess they're all from me, aren't they? But we could create a new message. We could grab our other profile. So this is our Jon user. I like impersonating Thor. It's nice.
Do you feel powerful?
Yeah, I do. I feel godly. I feel thunderous. I feel.
Watch out! Like don't burn yourself.
Yeah, and I should have a hammer, definitely. All right. So this is my message saying hi Thor. So this is sent from Jon, which we can confirm by coming over here and clicking this and seeing that links to our Jon user.
Do we see some real-time magic?
Yeah, if we go to Happy Chat, we see hi Thor. And I need to refresh because we're using real-time subscriptions. So anyone sends a message and it's going to automatically update our UI, which is super cool. So now we have something that we can distinguish between messages sent by us and messages sent by Jon, that other guy. So I'm going to say class name equals
self end. Oh no, you can't because we're no, that will align the children, right? Oh yeah, that works. That's right. Way better. I was going to make it way too complicated.
How do we want to do this?
Well, we need to access our user ID somehow, don't we?
Yeah, so we could do it in one big long thing. Maybe we'll grab our user ID out here. So we can say our user ID is equal to supabase.auth.user. And then if we have one of those, we want to access the ID. We would have to have one of those because this is... Oh, no, you can actually view this page without being signed in. Cool. And so then our user ID is either string or undefined. So TypeScript. Let's just move ahead and say, so here as a class name.
+1.
Yeah, 1 + 1. If our user, what am I doing? Our user ID is equal to, let's put this on the left side. So our message.profile_ID. So that's the column for the user who has sent the message. If that's equal to our currently logged in user ID, then we want to set the class of, what was it, text, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we need the empty string as the default because it's a ternary.
Yes.
Nice.
Cool.
Perfect.
That just magically works. And maybe we could even say if it is our user, then we also want to add on background blue.
In that case, we might have to use self and, right? I think instead of using text right.
Doing what, sorry?
Use self end instead of text right to make it more like a chat bubble kind of thing. That's what you were trying to do, right, Alaister, earlier?
Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. And then we could put
Nice.
some like, is it rounded or something?
Yeah.
Rounded on it. Put some, regardless, we should probably put some margin between everything.
Space Y. I love it. Me every time.
Cool. And then we can
those
put it on the
class names.
UL.
Yeah.
About.
Space Y-2.
And then maybe we'll give this a little bit of padding. Maybe just on the X, so PX2.
Looking real good.
Wow.
Maybe a little bit less space on the P's.
Yep.
Maybe. Yeah.
Love it.
Should we also copy and paste like the BG and the padding and the rounded to the second class name without the self end, but maybe change the color to like a gray?
Love it.
Excellent idea. We could also, it'll get too complicated. This is easier.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. This is good. And then maybe much lighter.
And then maybe self start.
Yeah, Tyler is still on it.
Good call.
Beautiful.
That's so nice.
Wow.
So
I
nice.
feel like this is a finished app. I feel like it's now that we're starting to think about styling, the text is just uncomfortably dark. So I'm gonna say gray 800.
And I think Ali has a great point. What happens if we overflow
Yes.
the chat screen?
So,
Send some more messages.
good
yeah.
question. What happens? One more. And another one.
It just grows.
Yeah, okay.
The whole page grows, which is definitely not what we want. So inside our, where do we want to do this?
The UL probably.
Yeah.
We can set like a max height on the UL and then overflow Y scroll.
Cool.
If we just do overflow Y, do we need a max height?
I think we might.
Wouldn't it be better if we
You need
had
to scroll.
Flexbox take
Overflow
care of
Y
that?
Scroll. Overflow Y scroll, John.
Overflow Y scroll. Sorry. Overflow Y scroll and even a space.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Flexbox does take care of it because I'm sure there's a way you can, but off the top of my head.
We could set like a max height, being a screen on the outer part rather than, I'm assuming it's just min height at the moment. If we have a look.
We have on the parent, so
min height, we could just say height screen, which also doesn't work.
Yeah, I think when you have overflow Y scroll, you need to have the max height on the thing that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. CSS is weird. I think we need to like 2 times the number of developers on this call to work this out.
All right. So we don't want let's say that we don't ever want our application to grow higher than the screen. And then we want the height of our main container. We do height full. Getting somewhere. And then we'll just say that's what we intended on doing, and it's fine. Oh wait, no, this is still actually broken, isn't it? It is still broken. All right, fine. So we want.
What if instead of having flex1 on line 33, so remove the flex1 on line 33, and then
Flex
one
which one's
on line, is it? Yeah, 33.
Yeah,
So one
33.
below that, and then pull out the message component outside of the div,
Oh, sorry.
and then pull out the message component outside of the div. So actually, yep, right there. Oops, okay, never mind.
No, we just need to fix the.
Yeah, the layout is fine now, right? So now we can add a background to the message component, and
Of
it
that same pink
should-
200.
Yeah. Now, isn't it gonna work? I feel like it would. So UL.
you mean
Yeah, it's
inside
scrolling.
here?
That's working.
Yeah. So UL, we can give it a nice pink background.
BG pink 200, I think it was.
Whoa, 299. No. Back, it's beautiful.
Can you scroll?
So it's not scrolling though.
We're getting close.
We are getting close.
So
But it should be scrolling. I feel like, why isn't it scrolling? The overflow is happening.
do we need a parent? We can wrap that UL in another
Yeah.
div and then give that parent overflow y scroll. And then we have to give few other classes to that parent as well.
So apparently, before we try that,
Mhm.
we could try setting a height of 0 pixels on the UL.
Okay.
That work? Can
Does
we
that
height
do
in there?
anything?
Surely
Scroll.
Tailwind haven't given us something
Try
like that.
scrolling.
No, it's not.
No.
Not scrolling.
I was trying to hack CSS, but never mind.
How about we do a div and get all of this stuff, move it up into that div.
And then on the
Overflow on
div,
that.
you want to give, was it flex1 and overflow y? What was it? Overflow y scroll. And
Oh, it's working. And we can even see our beautiful blue pie there. So we might move that up onto the parent.
Yeah.
I wonder what's the difference though. Like,
I feel like Flexbox and overflow scroll doesn't
because
go
it's not
together
display
well.
flex.
Yeah. I feel like I've ran into this problem before. I think you can
Yeah.
remove few classes on the UL as well. You can remove Flex1 and what is it, overflow y scroll on the UL.
Yeah.
Good call. And
CSS,
beautiful
man.
application. Should we quickly
Deploy?
Should we deploy it? Erica?
Yeah, whack it on
Oh.
Vercel.
Nice.
Let's do it.
Nice.
Oh
Are
wait, can
people
we
going to
get the
be polite
username?
and
Can we get the
Off.
everyone's username on the bubble
oh yeah,
Yep.
let's do
before
that.
we deploy?
You're
That
gonna have to deploy real fast.
I was thinking how to do that though. We have, I mean, all the initial data that we fetch, we can do that easily. But with the real-time stuff, how
so
do we?
Instead of just like instead of
refetching
just
of string.
directly appending the new message onto our messages array, we just have to refetch that individual item.
Yeah.
So we just treat the real-time message as kind of like a ping to say,
Okay.
hey, this is updated, and then we can write a thing to
Oh, right. As in, we wouldn't even need to
Something-
do this. You're just
something
saying,
that sorry,
call,
go ahead.
get data. I mean, just do this.
I mean, that would probably work, but it's heavier than it needs to be.
So loading just that single chat, right? Every single time you get a real-time
Yeah,
notification.
so you could just reload the individual message, but this probably would work for now. Let's try it.
Hit it with a hammer, a big hammer, says Thor.
I mean,
Hit it
otherwise,
with a.
I guess you have.
Yeah,
would
there you
have
go.
to-
Magic.
Nice.
What were you going to say, Thor?
Something I've
Yeah,
done in
I'm
the
just-
past is
Yeah,
I
if
would-
you just append the username, actually, so you just duplicate the data.
What do you mean?
On the
So,
database
like, if
level.
you just write the username to each message.
Oh yeah, you could do that, but this is SQL.
Yeah, like
NoSQL.
if
Yeah,
they
but the
change
only
the
thing is, like,
profile.
with real time, is it, in terms of performance, does it make more sense to like fetch every message, fetch the user profile, or to just replicate the username?
Yeah,
I
wonder.
don't know if this
up
is
to you.
I don't know if this is a good way to do it, but something I've done in the past is I would have a separate state just to store every single user's profile data as a hash map. And every single time a new message comes in, I would go and look into that hash map, see if that user's profile is already fetched. So essentially that acts as a cache for all the profile
A cache
data.
for all the profiles.
Yeah, within the room. And if that profile is not loaded yet, then I would go and fetch just that profile from the database.
Yeah.
If it's there, I just use that to display the message. It's something I've done in the past while I was building.
That's probably a good approach. I like
Yeah.
that.
So
But
something like just say we want to grab
10
from
minutes left.
profiles the username. Let's just say
Let's leave it as a full fetch for now, and then we'll
next time we can.
next time we can do a fetch, and then if that's too slow, we can speed it up with Tyler's caching solution.
Yeah.
Can't we say like star and go and grab profiles?
Yep.
Star.
Good times.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just profiles username.
All right.
Select stars
Efficient.
for losers.
Yeah. And then that would be it for this, right? Because then data just gets called again, and we can we could improve the efficiency of this. But we could just, like Alaister was saying, just fetch the individual profile for the one message that has been inserted, and then spread that into our messages. But for simplicity's sake, let's just leave this like this, and we'll fix it next time, I swear.
I'd actually really like Tyler's solution though. Like, you don't have to even pre-fill the cache. You can have it super simple that when a new message comes through, you can just, at the same time as fetching the profile, just load that into a local object, and then every time look up in that object whether you've already fetched that user.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
yeah,
pretty nice.
I like
It's
it.
pretty nice.
Yeah.
And you can even display the message right away without the profile, and then you can, show like a spinner or something while that new profile is being fetched. And then as a new profile data comes in, you can display the profile image or profile name or whatever it is. It works out
Nice.
pretty good. Yeah.
Which way do we want to go with our 10 minutes?
Just put the name on and then deploy at high speed.
Yeah,
We can do it.
yeah.
All right, let's put the username on. So if we, I guess if we just console log out our messages again, console log messages. Then we open up our console. you can see that we have, for each of our objects, we now have profiles, and that has a username inside it. And so we can see who our user actually is. So then for each of our messages, after our content, I guess.
Yeah, I know it's going to slow us down, but I really want to rename profiles to profile because there's just one. It's freaking me out that it's plural. But you can do that in the Postgres query, which is
Can you do
a
that
good
up
time.
here?
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
you
So
do it
where
here?
it says profiles, just add before that like profile : profiles, and it will rename it to profile.
That's
So
so
you can,
cool.
yeah, you can put anything there on any field. Like if you wanted to call
So it
username
gives it an
name,
alias.
you could just do an alias. Exactly.
That's so cool. That's amazing. All right. Another piece of content that's going to appear on my blog soon. So we probably just want a span, maybe a paragraph, maybe just a span, with our message dot profile dot username.
Yeah, we'll need to update our TypeScript type as well.
Cool. We'll get our class names ready, and will we need to wrap this one in a span?
I'd like to, just for sanity reasons. I mean, you don't have to, but
and our TypeScript, it's not even telling us anywhere that this is a problem.
No, it is.
Oh,
It's
yeah, no, it is.
there, right
Okay.
there, where we're trying to use it. We just need to add profile username string.
Jon thought he could get away with it.
He's reaching for any. What's any?
Yeah, that's right. Wait, so we just do profile any here, right? Because we can select any profile. All right. Cool. So now that should no longer be red.
And you can
We've
give us a refresh.
The TypeScript overloads. And then what do we want to do?
A refresh, please.
Yeah.
Let's see if they come through.
Oh no, they're there. They're just displaying next to it because they're both spans.
Oh, right. I missed it.
So
Maybe
we can do this either with a block.
That works,
let's just
I
do that.
think.
And then we
Yeah.
can do text small, maybe extra small with some text gray 600.
I like that. Maybe bring the name above the message. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Name above? Yeah.
I don't know. It's totally a preface thing.
What's happened there?
No. Yeah.
Your nesting has gone wild.
What has happened here? Right. This needs to go here. My bad.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
It'll
great.
do for now. Let's deploy.
Yeah,
We've got 6
deploy
minutes.
it.
All right. I really don't like the contrast on this, but yeah, let's deploy it, and then maybe we'll put a call out there for anyone who wants to make the design nice for the next stream. We can send you swag.
What are you,
we have
what are you
we'll
talking
give you a
about, Jon?
job
The
if
design
really,
is
really nice.
perfect.
We can hire you on the front end team. New lead designer. All right.
That
Yeah,
would
the
be lovely
design
though.
can't
wouldn't
be
it?
improved.
We can open source it. People can contribute to it, and on the next stream next week, we can just enjoy all the work that people have done on it.
I love it. All right, let's create a new repo for Happy Chat.
I feel like we might actually just be building a new WhatsApp here or Telegram or whatever.
What's happened here? You're
It
not
wants
happy.
more options.
does
Public,
need.
private. Yeah, we want it public, right?
Definitely. Do we have a remote? No. So we want.
Philip says, thanks for the stream. Adding Realtime to my Supabase app tonight. Nice.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice, sweet.
Hopefully you learned something that will help you with that today.
Hopefully.
What kind of app is it, if you don't mind sharing?
Build entire app, yeah. This is a good Git form, is to just do one massive commit and call it a day.
Absolutely, one God commit is all you need. Cool. And now, I guess that's up there. Now we can just, I guess we
Click
just
on
head over
Vercel.
to Vercel.
It's beautiful.
Ooh, is this gonna let me, or is it gonna ask for big scary credentials? It is gonna ask for scary credentials. All right, 1 second.
We got the phone handy.
I do have to go off my phone, I think. No, we got one. We got ourselves a code. Hacked the system.
Martina
Oh, nearing
says.
usage limits. Cool.
Oh.
New
Martina
project.
says he's gonna use Supabase for his next project.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very
Thor, I don't know if you're
great.
on the message highlighting, but Tyler and I don't have permissions to push all the buttons.
So Vercel makes it super easy to deploy a Next.js app. We can just import it from our GitHub repo that we've just pushed up our God commit to. So we can just click import here, and then it detects that it's a Next.js app, and so it's just going to do all of the magic for us. The only thing we need to do is we will need to set our environment variables. So we'll do. Actually, I need both of these. So
Matthias is also asking, is there a date for the new multiplayer features when they're going to be released? Good question.
Wenbo still here?
Yeah, we need Wenbo. I think they're coming reasonably soon, but I don't know if there's an exact date that's been announced yet.
I think if you look at our previous release history of when we tend to release a whole bunch of features, we might be aiming to release it
a certain week, perhaps.
A certain week when the next bunch of features might come out. Yeah, I suspect it. I believe it is currently being worked on. So yeah, hopefully then. Cool. So now that we have our environment variables, we can just click deploy. Pull this out. I think that's all we need. Yeah.
The only thing I think we didn't add was in the register page, we didn't add the redirect as well, right? So it only redirects on the login page. So if you're going to try it out with us, make sure you go over to the login page afterwards yourself.
Difference is, the reason that we didn't do that is because the link actually redirects from the email. So when you click the link in the email, it'll open a new tab, and that will already be authenticated.
So what you're saying is we need an alert here to tell the user to go to their Gmail.
We definitely need an alert. Hey,
it is
congratulations!
deployed.
It is deployed. It doesn't look like our styling came across, so I think we need to tell.
No, it looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, that does look good. That's how we styled it. Oh, that is how we styled it. Okay, never mind. And all
really,
of that
no one. Yeah, no one's taken happychat.vercel.app. That's crazy.
Also, it is just happychat.vercel.com.
Vercel.app, yeah.
Yeah, I can. Sorry, I can dump that into chat here for anyone that wants to go and have a play. If you are watching this later, like watching the archive stream, just let me know on Twitter if it's not working, because the instance may have gone to sleep if you're watching like way in the future. But yeah, it should probably stay active for a while. Cool. I think that's it.
Let's see if it sends me an email.
Oh yeah, if you two want to, or you three want to sign up, we can see whether our real time works when you start sending messages.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay.
We'll see.
What's the sign up page?
/register.
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 Should definitely have some nice. Yeah, we should definitely do that on the landing page to encourage people to sign in. because if we try and send, it actually tells you, right? Because we dumped out the error message. This new row violates row-level security policy for table messages. That should probably hint to people that maybe they want to sign in. I mean, that's what that means to me for sure.
You see me down there.
Oh, I moved away.
Tyler, hello.
Oh, you should
look
update
at
the
that.
redirect URL in your auth settings.
Because it's going to localhost, isn't it?
Yes.
So we need to, when you deploy your application, you need to come across to authentication and then settings. And then the site URL here is set to localhost over port 3000. So we just need to change that to our happychat.vercel.app URL. Oh, and addition, you can have an additional redirect. We'll just do that.
Oh, we got a spam.
The
In the
real
comment?
Thor is in. Alaister's in. Ennis is in. Awesome.
Nice.
So it's working.
Why does it
we
always
can
come
do it.
right at the end of the stream when we get the spam in the YouTube chat?
Oh, did we get spam again?
It's all right. Thor's
yeah.
on it.
Yeah. Bring the hammer down.
Thor, love it. This is all working, which is very cool.
Great.
It's a little bit annoying that we need to scroll down. There is a little fun trick we can do with scroll interview, which maybe we'll look at implementing at the start of the next video, because I think we are well and truly out of time. But this has been very fun. I recommend, if you enjoyed the stream, go and check out Supabase. If you click start your new project, you can authenticate with GitHub, and then you can go and create a cool project. We have a very lenient free tier, and so you can get a long way before you hit any of those problems. Also, check us out on Twitter. Yep, supabase.com.
Have
right.
it. Muscle memory.
It's late here. Twitter.com/Supabase. I also recommend you check out our YouTube channel, which I think is /c/Supabase, for all of our happy hour streams that we'll be doing each week. And we have just launched a Twitch channel. So if you go to, that's not Twitch, twitch.com/Supabase_TV. This is now also streaming to there. So I recommend you come give us a follow on there and make us feel a little bit more loved, because we've only got 11 followers so far, because we only created it today. But yeah,
That's not bad.
Thanks for watching.
For today.
Wherever it is happy hour for you, I hope that you enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, cheers everyone.
Lovely hanging out
Cheers,
with you people, everyone in the chat, everyone, all of you lot. It's been fun.
Yeah, thanks guys, and thanks to Tabza at the end.
Oh, just joined right at the end. Oh no, you'll have to watch the VOD is available on
YouTube.
On
yeah,
YouTube,
if you go to youtube.com/c/Supabase, you can watch the archive stream forever. I am
One more
going
hour,
to...
homie, and the beer tap's open here.
Good stuff. I'm going to play us out with, again, I haven't prepared an outro clip, so I'm just going to play us out with the intro clip. But we'll see you next week. Enjoy. Reach out to us on Twitter. Leave a comment. This was fun.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.